All right, Coach, a 5-2 loss to end the series and the season here this afternoon. Got off to a good start with Zach Jarrett's home run in Brock's first 5 innings. First, talk about Brock's start.
He was really good early. He had some energy, and he was down the strike zone, and really dominant there for about 3 or 4 innings. And then we had a bad inning, and it's something that's happened at times over the course of the season. We had a couple of defensive miscues, not necessarily errors, but just defensive miscues, and then we elevated some pitches, and Southern Miss does what good teams do. They took advantage. They put a couple of good swings on there, and we just couldn't quite get to a couple of balls defensively that we might normally get to otherwise, and it kind of snowballed on us. But I thought we played pretty darn good. I think everybody's kind of got a sick feeling in their stomach right now because we played pretty well, and just didn't have enough gas in the tank today.
Talk about Zach Jarrett offensively, especially after last night crashing into the wall. First at bat, hits his second home run after his first last weekend.
Well, he's grown up in an environment, with his grandfather and his father and the rest of his family, that there's a toughness factor there with him, just with the way he's been raised. And he ran full speed into the wall, broke one of the boards on the fence. And we've got several other guys, that have that same type of mentality and been raised the same way. But the only thing I was worried about with him is if he was concussed, because if he had a concussion, obviously there's protocol, and we're not going to put anybody at risk. But for him to play the rest of the game yesterday and play the second game and then play today speaks volumes of his toughness.
After Brock, we had Shearer come in to pitch, and then Hunter May. Talk about their relief outings.
They did really well, like we talked about before, and we knew that they had Roney on the back end.
Right.
He's got a really good arm. My goodness, he's got a good arm. And, it's just a shortened down game. And if you can stay ahead of them or stay even with them, and they go to their bullpen, and you still got a chance to maybe scratch one across. But, when you get down, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs, whatever, it's going to be difficult.
I know we've talked about this a couple of times already, but touch one more time on the 8 seniors with the pregame ceremony and then playing in their final game.
Well, quality guys that have done what we asked them to do. We got off to a really bad start, as everybody knows, this year, and not one of those 8 guys mailed it in. They all kept showing up. Several of them had reduced roles, in terms of playing time. But we didn't have any issues with any of them, and that's a testament to the way they've been raised. All of them have either graduated or are in line to graduate. I'm really proud of that because that's a big part of our program and what we do. And, we told them at the end, when it ends abruptly. There's not a phasing in of it. Once that last out's made, it's done. But they're all going to be successful. Some very bright guys in that group, and I look forward to having them come back to alumni functions and hopefully with their families at some point in time.
What's the timeline now for our guys playing summer ball to go out and get back into game shape and at game speed to get better?
Well, in years past, and we got to get back to this,
Right.
We need to be playing in the conference tournament next week as we move forward, and we need to be playing the NCAA tournament, at least the first round, if not the super regional round, and hopefully to Omaha. And we're a long ways from being an Omaha team right now, but in this league, it affords us the opportunity to be able to do that with the competition we're playing in our non-conference schedule. And we got better over the course of this season. There's no question about that. Proud of that fact. But we're still not where we need to be. There's still a gap between where we're at and where the upper echelon teams in Conference USA are. And our guys need to get better. And we told them that at the end of the season. We need to continue to recruit and get through another recruiting cycle or 2 or 3 to try to continue to build our roster to where we have a chance to compete week in and week out in Conference USA.